Hello, welcome to episode 11 of Plague Tale Requiem Composer Walkthrough. Today we're going to the Cradle of Centuries, which to me is Tomb. When I say to me, it's because for the whole development it was called like this. So now we're out from the fort with Milo, and we need to go back to this place where we will reach the tomb. Basically what happens is the island that was first very welcoming in its voice and the background sort of soundscape with the voices. Now it's the same, like you have background soundscapes, but now they're very, very, very scary and down and ominous and threatening whatsoever. So now you have the cello and the male, no more female.
They've come here.
So this is like, if I skip, the music will keep going because it's just a soundscape. You don't need to score everything in cutscenes. And so going through, what's going to happen is that you will hear the
I'll fight back.
They're stupid animals, Hugo.
the voices
Very smart and strong human beings.
appearing and disappearing, like
Let me know which fire you
they
want to go
should be.
to. I'll open a path to it.
So the cello and the voices. But there is no female singers, so it feels darker. And it goes on until you reach Tomb, like the interior. It's just that later on, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go. Like, I'm not sure this is a good idea. My God. The thing is, at some point you see the people getting eaten by the rats, and I'm using the choir to swallow them, as the macula will swallow later on who you know. I mean, for those who play the game, hope you did play the game. Please play the game. Almost there, so I'll skip and show you.
Don't come too close!
We're going to help you.
He's here.
No, please.
Goodness.
Why? I hate you. I hate you all.
It's over. Let's move.
You see how Hugo and the macula, the voices, and now it's bigger. So previously you had some breath between the waves, and now you have the low bass entering to add some weight. And you will go through this path until you reach the tomb. So let's move on to the tomb. We're about to enter this tomb where
Hallway.
Hugo
It's been
will
sealed.
eventually
Sealed against what?
meet with his destiny
Let's go
somehow. And of course he knows what's going to happen. At least he feels what's going to happen. And there is no music now.
This is it.
There's a
Come.
contrast.
It's too dark.
But the dark is afraid of you too. Just one light, and it's gone.
Come on, we'll find the light.
The contrast between what Amicia and Sophia are, pushing, like to move forward and find out about this tomb, and the contrast of Hugo not willing to go, being scared, because he knows better, because as you know, the macula
This leads somewhere.
is
This is it.
talking to him, if I
feel
may.
it.
We're the first here in a long
So
time.
right here we have a sort of
I won't. Don't
decompression sass, like we're entering the cave, no music, a sense of mystery and silence, up to the next bit where you activate
It's getting
some
dark.
lights,
worry. I'll light it up.
Yes, please.
and it will awake, I don't know,
Wait, something's happening.
right here,
please.
the female
No.
voices. compared to the ominous version of the island, now that is completely overwhelmed with rats and the macula, here it's and so it was male singers with the cello. Here it's just the female singers, sort of like asking Hugo, come, don't worry, come to us, so or come to me.
Yes.
So it will go
This is the place.
like this through the whole bit of gameplay here. Let's move on to the next phase. We're now in this room, which is amazing. Feels very close to La Moria in Lord of the Rings to me. Once again, the art in the game, it's something incredible, not only because of the achievement of the visuals in terms of technical achievement, but also in the art, like the sense of storytelling in the art.
We shouldn't be here.
And now we're gonna have this, the music is much bigger and scarier, let's say, with this low bass. And for those who played Innocence, this is the same sound that when you were in the Chateau d'Ombrage the first time with all the rats, and activating this. Oh my god, maybe I was too quick. Activating this, this whole puzzle felt very close to the Chateau d'Ombrage. So this is why the music as well is taking the same vibe. So let's pass the puzzle and see what's happening afterwards.
Wait.
So we're about to finish the puzzle, and we still have this ominous bass, scary atmosphere. And because we're about to discover what happened to Elia, the music will sort of like switch to something more, I don't know how to say this, like funerals. I don't know if you know from Handel the funerals of Queen
Good
Mary.
work. Yes.
Dun, da, 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 dum, boom, 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 boom. It feels like this, like.
All the guards. I can't believe
the
she took them
drums.
on by herself.
That girl must have been one fearsome
So
fighter.
it's about
She
Elia
was
now.
committed. He was everything to her.
Something bad
Amicia's
has
connection
happened
with Elia is still going on.
She knew it.
Do you know what it was?
I just feel dark.
Hugo still
Like in
don't
my
want to
dream.
go. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt going through this
She
level.
made it.
I can't tell because I knew what was going on, so my feelings are completely different. But was it scary? Was it like mystery? Was it like, I don't know. And finally we reach Elia. That's the same music as it was when Amicia in the previous chapter saw what Elia left to the next protector. That's Elia. And here we had a conversation with the creative director,
We
David.
should go back.
So once again, Hugo doesn't want to
Protect
move on.
one,
He knows.
protect all. That's the writing from the
So you
fourth
see,
chapel.
it's just a very simple underscore,
It's her. Alia.
and
The carrier's
when
protector.
Hugo comes to Amicia, there's a little
She
like
really gave them hell.
emotional like
But she died alone.
dimension here.
What's wrong, Hugo?
Don't want you to die.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
Come on. You're a big boy.
And here
Let's have a look at that
I did the score for this section. I wrote a music here. But the creative director was like, as good as it could be, it's better not to have music.
I know how it feels. Fighting alone. Fighting not to be alone.
And I think it was a very good point.
I just hope
I
you
tried
found
both,
peace
know,
where you
and
are.
at first it felt better, my feelings, but then the music comes
You got
back.
any idea how we're gonna open this?
And this little
We
edit
should go back.
really made a difference because I tried to move it back after, like some time, and he was right.
Are you feeling better?
So.
So those
Hey,
conversation, this sort
we're
of
all tired. But we're together, right?
exchange and sharing is very useful for me at least, and of course I hope for
Well,
them as well.
Let's open this
We
door.
can shape the emotions completely differently depending where the music will play or not, and I don't have the perfect idea. I think it's good to always have some external vision, and sometimes you have the right thing and sometimes you have the wrong thing, or let's say the not as good thing. So let's move on to after this big door and see what's going on with the music, because now it's a big puzzle.
This is not welcoming.
So we passed
see.
the big door, and now passing the door you have the low synth, remember from the Château d'Ombrage and the puzzle, plus these things. And if you remember well, this is the rats, the connection between Hugo and the rats and the macula. So you start, you try to move on. What's this word already? I forgot.
That did something. Definitely.
And and then what's going to happen is like a little phase where Amicia is separated from Hugo,
It's a bridge.
and I've asked Eric to play the theme
Let's keep going.
in the style of the island. So basically he had to play,
Go all the way.
so I'm
There's
going
a
down
missing
here,
piece.
and he has to play with this technique that
There's
I
a
don't
way
know
down.
if he
Well,
created
it's
it,
steep,
but
Right.
to create those harmonics. And he applied
It
this
could work.
to
I'll
the
try first.
theme
Be
of the
careful.
Darun, So you hear it. So it's going down. So right here. That's the theme. And so you can have here the theme,
Nothing broken.
No! Just a bit shaken up.
but the technique
That was a bad idea.
is the technique of, let's say, the
I'll look
the
around and
island
see what I can
technique.
do.
So the sound of the
Wait for me.
theme
Take
is
care.
very peculiar to this very moment. You see, that's the theme, main theme, and it's with the style of the rats plus the Château d'Ombrage, the puzzle, let's say the big macula background. So you're going through the puzzle, and we'll move on to the next bit of music. We're now finally reaching the bottom of the well, of the tomb, and you can hear that the rats are more excited. And that's the call. And remember that only Hugo can hear this. And so you're going in.
What's going on?
Amicia, I don't want to.
But we have to.
And once again, Hugo knows,
To.
and we don't. So that's the rats calling. And then, if you remember on chapter, 7, maybe before this, 5, at the end when Hugo is finally controlling the rats and eating everybody, at some point he overcharged, if I may, and you have those big chords that goes like, yeah, when he's like overwhelmed, which is exactly what happened to Basilius in the bottom of the tomb that we'll see. He overcharged, and they try to keep him away from hurting everybody. And so that's just a reflection, once again, a mirror of what happened and what will happen. And so you have the rats, and at some point
It looks
You'll get-
bad.
Lord. It feels like a cathedral.
They built this for him.
So, he's down there?
Yes.
so now there's the drama. we already start the
Looks
drama
like what
here.
the last threshold would do.
They're trying to understand what's going on and explaining,
And this is what happened.
But what?
but we know,
What happened?
at
And what
least,
happened to him?
us, the creators, what happened,
He brought you here.
and we know what will happen. And as I told you, it's connected with Hugo and the fact that he will overcharge at some point maybe, and unfortunately go through the same fate as Basilius.
Don't do it on purpose.
So that's very dramatic here.
Child.
It's a tragedy.
City too.
It's tough, Hugo. We don't know each other very well, but I know.
So the thing is, when you're doing music design here, it's like the players can forever, wait. They can forever, go up and down. So you need to think, okay, how can I build
We're close.
the music so you would feel, so if you go in straight line and you don't stop, let's say it's very fluid, but now if I stop like this,
Trust me.
now the voice stopped because, to hold them too long, depending on what you're doing, would become a little bit, overwhelming, maybe bothering, annoying. So back to something that is less, let's say, big in the space of sound. And
I can't.
so the music's changed. The macula call
Sophia.
Sweetheart.
Please, I know.
back the voices.
You don't. Why are you doing this?
Amicia.
Come, I'll carry you.
The drama,
We'll do this together.
This is too much.
I'm sorry you
This
have
is
to
no
go
more
through
like
this.
beautiful that she's carrying
Do
him.
it for you.
She doesn't understand.
You'll have it.
She doesn't understand. She's bringing him to see his own fate.
I need you.
I'm scared of myself,
Stop.
Alicia.
You will live.
So
We will fight.
this sequence, if you know the ending, is very emotionally difficult. So same thing, if I wait, the music will wait for me, and when I'm activating this, I will get the back of the voices. So all of this we need to think about when we're doing the music implementation, the music design. And finally, on the cutscene, here, you see Basilius, the big drama.
Is that
The carrier. They imprisoned him.
So basically,
But why?
they start understanding
They were scared of him. Of his power.
what's happening, meaning that you can't stop the macula. The only way to stop it is just to let Hugo live a good life, if I may,
They were always
to
afraid.
avoid him to trigger
left a child to
any
die?
big emotions.
He
So it's to
unleashed
protect
rats.
him. It's
They tore
in
through
the,
walls.
I don't want
They
to do
couldn't
bad
stop them.
psychology, but if you are
It started
sensitive
here.
and you know that something can trigger you
Justinian plague.
in terms of anxiety, in terms of stress, in terms of, you want to avoid being exposed of too much. And this is what they're
That's why
learning
macula brought
right
us
here.
There has to be something.
But the one thing is, it's too late.
A
They
file.
came,
Something.
and Hugo is now cursed by the macula.
She failed.
So once again, the big drama, the voices,
She failed, Sophia.
I know.
and there's an agitation.
When I die,
You won't die.
I will also kill them all.
No, Hugo. He wasn't.
He told you so many times that he's gonna die.
Took him from his protector. He lost
And I know
hope.
that a lot of players would
So he
think,
gave
yeah,
way
but
to the macula
it's a video game. It
and
cannot be
condemned them all.
like this, in a sense that you
No,
cannot
because
lose.
If one word from her had reached him,
But trust me, nobody really
he would have known
loses in this game,
He
in
would
some
have lived
senses.
and spared millions.
This is
Do you
life.
understand? You won't.
That's what this game is
die.
trying to tell.
I'm
I
here for
think.
you.
and I will give you the life you deserve. A life
We
without
need to fight.
Do you want that? Let's find ourselves a home.
So the next bit is very action type. Woo! Once again, incredible. The rats. I don't know how many of them are here, but it's way too many. Can we have... So now, what happens is, remember in the previous sequences, the music was just the cellos. Oh, and now there's the choir. And that was fun because the choir, when they read the score, they were like, it's impossible for us to do this as the cello is doing it. And I was like, no, I don't want you to be like perfectly following the notes. I need you to give a sense of like craziness and agitation. So this is what we got. And I think it's pretty efficient. Oh my God! I like those tenors. I'm about to get out. This is crazy. Come on. Just like Giger, like Scorn.
No! What? They're coming! There's so many!
We're running away.
Relax.
Don't stop!
And I'd be dead. I mean, just by looking at the rats, I'd be dead. Not even like being eaten. Just like cardiac arrest. Like, ugh. That's it.
How much you want? Keep going!
And we're about to come out. So of course the macula wants to keep Hugo for itself. And there we go. And what's interesting here is the drama now
Tell me this.
is more about the disconnection. Remember the previous chapter
Anyone hurt?
when Amicia and Hugo were having a fight?
Horrible.
Yes. I'm sorry you had to see
Well,
that.
what happens
The
is that
macula lured you in.
it was starting the disconnection between the bound of the two siblings.
Chains on him.
Yes, but you'll live. That's what's most important.
I was interrupted, sorry.
Not what's most important.
So you see,
I'm scared to think people are that bad. I'm scared of what they'll make me do.
You're right. Listen. There will always be people who do terrible things.
so she's trying to bring him back already. You know, she will never let go. You know her.
Goodness of others.
But
People who care.
look at the last look of Hugo and listen to the music. It tells you exactly what will happen. So trying hard to convince him.
I understand, but you can trust me. You can trust us.
You see, in other situations, the music would be maybe more warm with the theme, with something like reunion or whatsoever.
Let's leave this island.
But it's gone. Look,
We have a bird to catch. And a sea of rats. to
what
cross
matters
first.
is,
They won't stop us. Everything is different.
yeah, she's in a delusion now. That's what matters. And there we are. So I hope you had a good time and you learned some few things. And I thank you for watching if you did up to the end. And see you hopefully on the next chapter.